Hey y'all, I'm John aka Whisky and Sand, and I'm back with another episode of Boilermaker Mondays. Now, I really wanted to revisit a dram it's been a little bit since I've had it last, and I usually only bring it out for special occasions, but I got my hands on a couple of beers, which I think might go really well with this. And without any further ado, I'm going to show you the BenRiach 22-year-old Peated dark rum wood finish. This is a lovely dram. It is Speyside, it is peated, it is 22 years old, it is finished off in rum cask, it is all sorts of vibrant and fun and peated as well. And Speyside peated, not a combination which, I mean, you associate peat with either, your Isla whiskies. You'll come across them in, some Highland distilleries, and more so not common and almost rare in like Lowland, for example. There's only like Alza Bay. Bloodknock has only just started recently experimenting with peated whiskies, and there's but otherwise from Highland whiskies. Glen Turret are one of my favourite peated whiskies, which is just a very well balanced, easy drinking Scotch. Now, BenRiach, however, is lovely and so easy to drink on its own. So when you add all these factors into the equation, you have a lovely, elegant dram. So I'm going to pour myself a glass of it because I've been really hanging to try this again. Last time I enjoyed this was with a cigar with my wife over. It wasn't an anniversary. I'm pretty sure it was a birthday occasion. Either way, it was a lovely occasion with the wife, which is the last time that I tried it. But I felt like doing a review on it tonight, so that's as good of an occasion as I can get. So, and she will most likely kill me for this, but you know what? Worth it. Because I know it is one of her favourite whiskies too, and rightfully so. So, non-chill filtered and no added colouring as well. This is. Oh, okay. So you don't have that much of a peat hit on the nose as you initially would when you first crack open the bottle. It's had a few pours taken out of it, so it's probably had a really good time in the bottle. I reckon this personally is like an ideal point where your whiskey really starts to open up in the bottle, like with that little bit of airtime in it. Then you don't have to sit there and I'll let it get some air in the glass. Get into it straight away because it's at its optimum point. That's me personally. Anything more than that, I'd be looking at decanting it into a smaller bottle. So then that way you retain your, you retain everything that should be in that bottling. You still keep inside, a smaller decanter. So it's one of those drams where you start to run out of breath quick smart because you're like, the more I take in, the more I just want to keep bringing it in, and then before you know it, nope, lungs are at full capacity again. Anyway, breathe out, breathe back in some more. This is lovely and citrusy. There's a great balance of oak and like a gentle. It's like a campfire smoke. It's not medicinal peat or anything. It's just campfire smoke and that vegetable metal that you would get. But there's a lot more citrus and some florally notes as well. I also pick up actually I'm probably leaning more towards a grassy note than what I would a florally note. There's a lot going on with this. There's definitely some layers that actually, no, there are layers. There's no doubt about it. There's a whole heap of layers in this. I can sit there and, if I really want to break it down, I'll be here for over, half an hour or so, just sitting there going, yep, so in this, I can, I'll grab this portion and I can grab that portion. But, Me, ideally, I like to keep my tasting notes short and sweet and straight to the point because I know I've also got a beer to factor in, and then I'm going to sit there and try to have some fun with it. And before I know it, it's over half an hour. And I originally promised that these episodes would only ever take 10, 15 minutes. Well, you can't have the best of both worlds, so you've got to find a compromise somewhere. So, my short and sweet notes. The more I'm getting into this, that um, this has got such a lovely layer of just that aged barrel influence where it's got such lovely nuances. It's slightly peppered. Um, you get like apples and yeah, like stewed pears, almost like a compote. Just beautiful. And there's a hint of citrus as well, which is the reason why I want to try out one of these beers that I picked up. So I want to see if it goes back with this. But I'm gonna have a sip now and just reiterate what's on the nose as well as what's on the palate, really. Hmm. Oh man, that palate. Oh, talk about Moorish. That just coats the palate. Well, this is only at 46%. So it's not a big ABV whiskey, and it doesn't need to be because there's so much going on with it that it just, oh, the finish is just lingering. It's beautiful. The peat really comes out on the palate, and it's it's got the like the fruits are still there. Probably more um, real dark cocoa. Um, yeah, it's like a real bittery. I wouldn't even call it chocolate because it's bitter. It's got like a bit of a drying effect to it. Not so much as like what a sherry would, but it basically attacks the palate in a loving manner, if that's one way to describe it. Well, that's the way that I'm going to describe it anyway. I think I know what direction I'm going to take with this. And it's going to go more along the lines of, well, it's going to act as possibly a contrast and a cutting agent, I think, for this Boilermaker pairing that I've got in mind. So, and I haven't really had anything from these guys, so I'm going to give them a shot nevertheless. So this is from Sailor's Grave Brewing, which is a lemon meringue cream sour. So I'm hoping that it's either going to do one of a couple of things. It's either going to really, it's either going to tame like the peat levels down a bit. Not that they're a ridiculous amount of peat. I think it's a well integrated amount of peat, where it's not overpowering, and there's still um, elements of fruit, citrusy zest coming through, and like lovely balance of that wood oak um, coming through. And I think this might either one calm the peat down and really pull out like the hint of lemon zest that I was getting, or it could go the other way and just create like another different kind of party altogether. But it could also go a third way and just end up being two separate drinks. I'll enjoy it, in their own time. I don't know. The joys of Boilermakers. You'll find out one way or another if it works or it doesn't. So it's the joy of the experimentation, nevertheless. But let's see where we go. All right. Peated beer. Shows how much I really needed this tonight. Peated whiskey and a sour ale. Usually one that I don't do. So, like I said, this is going to go one of a few ways here. But one that I'm willing to give a try. All because I picked up on the lemon zest. Okay, maybe this might actually work in my favour. So, I mean, rum casks are really, they're awesome for really imparting just fruity esters. Actually, there was a note here which I read with regards to the if you can see it there, Dunder on the side. Now that I have to pull up my other screen because I tried to remember what the note was and I forgot what it was. But basically, now this is from the note from the whiskey company, which they also happen to have a bottle of this. If you are keen on trying this, whether it be on its own or in a Boilermaker pairing, and you want to try it with this beer, or you have any other suggestions that it may pair better with, then please let me know in the comments. But in their notes of the website, it refers to the residue of cane sugar juice, which is left in the still after distillation, which is then used as a source of yeast in the fermentation process. So from that, it'll have so much more vibrant, fruity esters coming through in the fermentation process, no doubt. And that's exactly what this is. This has got, like, it is vibrant, it is fruity, it is zesty, and it just lovely when it's got that balance of the complexity of the aged barrel influence and that lovely amount of peat that comes through. It is a gorgeous dram. If I have not talked this dram up enough, then I don't know what more to tell you. Just have a drink, enjoy it. Anyway, and on that note, I'm going to see how it goes back with this beer. And that is the perfect amount. And look, no spillages, I'll be damned. I'm on a roll. Okay. Sailor's Grove Brewing, and it's not a massive drink as well. It's at 3.5%. So I should suspect that this would be equally just as subtle on the yeah, actually it's not a big nose on it or anything, but I could be wrong. It could really come out on the palate too. So let's see how it goes anyway. Oh, that's really a big sour hit, but then it fades off straight away. So maybe then the bit like the there's like a bittery hoppy note that comes through afterwards. Not crazy amount, but it's there on the finish regardless. I mean, that's an easy summer drinking beer, that's for sure. Will that work with this Boilermaker pairing? We're going to find out in a sec. I dare say this is probably going to work best if I go a whiskey wash first and then a beer rinse afterwards, because of its short finish. Like, it's doesn't have a level of complexity about it, so it's basically just going to rinse over whatever I've got on the palate. So I'd rather maybe catch this on the finish and then rinse it down with the beer, and that's probably going to get the best effect out of this particular Boilermaker pairing. Absolutely stunning. Ooh, I actually spoke too soon. Truth be told, that peat sort of got kicked to the side just then, so it's actually cut it. A lot more fruit, probably an equally amount of oak has just come through, like the a real charred kind of oaky flavour. That's all right. So that was interesting. So, well, that's essentially the beer wash and whiskey rinse. So now I might just give it a little reset. That was interesting. I was not expecting that. Anyway, like I said, something new to me because it is peated dram and a sour ale that I'm pairing back with. So I have not had a great deal of those. But this would actually, funnily enough, this beer could probably also work with, if you can see it in the corner right there. at Springbank, which is also a rum cask, 15-year-old rum wood, which I dare say I'm going to end up doing very shortly because I'm looking for a reason to open that bottling too. Okay, now let's do a whiskey wash and a beer rinse and see how that one goes. I dare say that's going to have a lot more of an impact than what the previous just did. Okay. Get all those phone alerts. All right. Cocoa comes out. The peak just builds, and then just eases off into the finish, and it just sits there on the palate. I love the finish on this. Can be enjoyed. Actually, it is enjoyed alongside a nice cigar as well. I think I can't remember which Nicaraguan, or was it a Honduras? I can't remember which one it was. I've got a photo of the cigar that I actually had back with this whiskey, and just beautiful. Right, whilst I've caught that on the finish, now I'm going to take it down with the beer rinse. Yeah, right, okay. Also, was not what I was expecting. I think the finish actually worked with the whiskey. It actually pulled back the sour a bit on this one, and it wasn't such a big sour impact, which is what I had initially when I first tried the beer. So that was a that was a sigh of relief. Could I have paired this back with another beer? Most definitely. And I could have probably even gone down the path of I would have paired this back being a rum cask. I probably would have paired this back with a coconut porter or just a nice stout because of that peat number. So yeah, there's two ways that you could have gone. The darker beer would definitely have probably been a bit more suitable for this. So yeah, like the coconut porter, definitely. Or a so you can go two ways with it. There's if you can find them still, there was it a black? It was either like a cherry ripe stout or it was a black forest stout. Either one of those would work well with this because something it would be like yeah. Oh, it's got some nice floaty goodness on it, which I don't know if you can see or not. Yes, you can right there. Love the bottom of that. Beautiful. So some coconut flavour would, I reckon, work well with this. Yeah, overall, was it a massive wow factor? Look, probably not. Is it satisfying enough to drink as a Boilermaker pairing? Yes, it is. Would I do it again? Probably not. Would I definitely do this again though? Hell yeah. So, but I will say that on this particular pairing, it was probably nicer actually doing the beer wash and having a whiskey rinse because it actually done something like a bit more pleasant. I was able to sift through the whiskey just that little bit more. It did pull out a little bit more. Actually, I'll remind myself of it whilst I've got it here. So. Yeah, definitely got a shorter finish. So, gorgeous. Yeah, right, straight after, it's done something different again. And Okay, so it has acted as it's more of a cutting thing. So you could use this more like a palate reset. Um, that particular beer, which is great in between tastings. If you just want to, cut it with something that a little bit more. So if you are doing like a relatively big tasting, this is actually decent enough to just go through and allow you to be able to separate and reset and give a good little shake up on the palate. So then that way you're ready for your next dram. Yeah, okay, that was there was a bit more fruit that come through then, but the peat really got toned down then too. I noticed. So, but anyway, still fun nevertheless. So, yeah, cheers for watching me experiment with that one, and I hope I was able to give a little bit of education on one of these two. If not, at least recommend a dram for you to try. Definitely, if you can get your hands. It looks like that whiskey company has some in stock, from what I've seen. I think I saw one on mybottleshop.com.au as well. So yeah, if you've got the opportunity to get it, it's the second edition, 22-year-old BenRiach dark rum cask or dark rum barrels. It is an exquisite dram. It really is. On that note, thank you once again. And next week, I will definitely be changing it up because I tried something over the weekend which really, it kind of destroyed me a little bit because I can't go back from having it. So I'm going to do all that I can next week to actually do that as a Boilermaker pairing for next week's show. So, on that note, I'm going to leave it right there. For those who were within my company over the weekend, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and it should be interesting because I've got a couple of beers in mind that I've already, got the cogs turning and got in mind as to what way we could go with it. And either way, it will still be a fantastic pairing, no doubt. And the heads up, it is not whiskey, so it will be another spirit. So, look forward to sharing that one with you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll catch you next week or for the next episode.